can we improve cell phones in the United States for public service, for healthcare, for public safety, for education. That was the genesis of this initiative, and that was a starting point for this series of meetings. At today's meeting, we covered 3 topics. The first one was the wireless emergency alert system. What we wanted to do here was to come out with specific, actionable items. Second area that we discussed was the challenge of locating people after they've dialed 911. Most 911 calls are made from cell phones now in the United States. Finding those people turns out to be more difficult than you think. Third area that we examined was the activation of FM radio receivers in cell phones. Almost all US smartphones have FM radio receivers. Very few have been activated. So you're not talking about science fiction. You're not talking about some big policy change that may require congressional approval. Instead, you're talking about small, specific things that can make a difference to the lives of Americans, especially underserved communities.
This is such a vital area. The stakes are so high on making improvements, and it's an area where you can save lives using technology in smart ways. And so I think the focus on what we could do to move that forward, and also looking down the road with the help of some of the more technology-oriented participants was very useful.
Our youth are using mobile phones in great numbers, but also minorities and immigrants are using mobile phones as well. And whether it's our public policy leaders or our corporate leaders to begin to say, how are we communicating and can we do this better?
The interesting thing about these meetings is that we bring together industry, government, entrepreneurs, researchers, all around the table. And what we discover is there is agreement. They don't agree on everything, but they agree on enough that we reach consensus to go forward.
Sunnylands is this incredible reputation stemming from the wonderful estate that the Annenbergs have out on the West Coast. And the important part is you brought very, very senior people together. It enforces a kind of respect implicitly among the parties who are engaged in the communication. Even if you don't agree, the articulation of the disagreement generates insight from people's perspectives about how technology should evolve to improve our safety and security.
And the idea is to really not just talk about an issue, but come to some agreement on some concrete, short-term approaches that can be done in the next 12 months.